I'll do what he's unable to do. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure, isolate, and punish China.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. All right, so today is a brand new day. I want to first start out by saying, obviously you could see by the video that played shortly before I came on what we're going to be talking about today. But I want to make mention of the video that I posted yesterday. Now, I was extremely heartfelt when I made that video yesterday. Everything that I said, it wasn't perfect. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out, but it came from my heart. And I was so disappointed and just let down yesterday when I got an email saying that my video thumbnail was taken down because it fell under the offensive category through the policies here on this platform. My thumbnail yesterday mentioned the words God and love. So when that type of thing happens and they strike your video for something like that, they take whatever the issue is away, which in this case was the thumbnail. And what they did was they just like inserted like a still from my actual video, which was just a plain picture of me, very, similar to what you see right here. I could not believe that my video was being deemed as offensive. And for the reasons of me saying the words God and love. And I'll tell you what, I sat there yesterday and I thought about it. I even changed the thumbnail to something else, actually quite a few times, to see if that would fix it. And it finally did fix the issue when I changed it to a picture of the current president-elect. But then I sat and I thought about it a little bit more and I thought, you know what? No. I'm not going to forsake my father. I am going to be proud. I'm going to say his name. I am going to speak of him because he is our God. And I am not ashamed of that. I am not going to hide that. That's just one thing I am not going to negotiate on. So I changed the thumbnail to what it is now, and you can go back and look at it. And that's what it is. And whatever comes of it, I am going to be me. I'm going to speak how I have always spoken. And that includes saying the word God and love. So if you don't like that, please feel free to unsubscribe from this channel. Please feel free to no longer watch my videos. But it is what it is. All right. So let's get on to what I am here to talk about today. First of all, I want to say, yesterday started out, a sad day. And then, I kind of like worked through my emotions and then I went back to being sad. And I think that was just the overall theme for all of us. But as always, I revert back to my faith, and that always grounds me. That always brings me back to a place of comfort and security. But I want to say this. I want to say that I am so extremely proud of our president, 45, Mr. Donald Trump. You did an amazing job. And very quickly yesterday, we were reminded of how amazing everything you did was, because it quickly started to get yanked out from underneath us. I read an article that referenced, Donald Trump taking off on the plane and heading to Mar-a-Lago, saying that with him, he takes a legacy of violence and inciting hate and division. And I sat there and I read that and I thought to myself, wow, that's not how I remember him at all. And that's not how I will remember him at all. And that is not who he was. So real quick, I want to do a recap on who President Trump was to me. And then we're going to move on into what this actual video is about. So I will always remember President Trump for being the greatest president we ever had, as I just said. He did things that no other president has ever done. He did things that no other president, frankly, no other man that I've ever, or I won't say no other, okay? Aside from the Lord Jesus, God, okay? Aside from that, he had the courage like I've never seen somebody have. He didn't care what people thought of him. He did things that were hard. He took so much criticism. His family took so much criticism. Everywhere he turned, there was a roadblock or a wall put up to stop him, and he kept persevering. He was truly, truly the president of the people. He was the voice that we couldn't have. He said the things that we were afraid to say. And I think that that is really what his legacy was about. He made real change in this country, real change, things that impacted not just, us here in the United States, but across the world. He made the world safer. I don't know if many people know this, but if you talk to people from other countries, they look to the United States for how we handle things. And when the United States is unbalanced, when they are not united, it is not a good thing for other countries because we set the tone for the rest of the world. And President Trump set an incredible tone for this world. Now, a lot of people are going to say, no, when he was president, we had the riots and we had violence and we had the pandemic. And, it makes me angry that people blame those things on him, because I want you to take some time to really look back and think about it. Did he really start those things? Or did the real enemy in this country, who wanted the division, who wanted the hate, create those things and make it appear that President Donald Trump created those things? I beg to differ with anybody who can tell me that that really was the case and show me proof that that was the case, because President Trump, there was no new wars when President Trump was in office. There was no fighting in other countries when President Trump was in office. He truly, truly created what real unity means. Real unity is not just saying nice things and being nice to people and being the president that everybody likes. It's pushing forth policy that actually make change. You cannot, there's no president, and if they tell you they can, there's no president that can legislate love, that can legislate respect. But somehow he found a way to legislate things that impacted those areas. And I think that's incredible, and it's unprecedented. It's something that we have never really seen before. He was our most pro-life president. He protected life before it even hit this planet Earth, in a physical form at least. He was the only president to be unapologetic about the fact that fetuses in the womb were life and deserved to be protected and deserved to have a chance. He was the only president to do that. And any person or pastor or priest or religious figure that tells you that they are pro-choice, you better run for the hills, because that is anti-God. And if you are claiming to be a man of God or a woman of God, and you are for the killing of an unborn baby, and some of these people are for the killing of babies even full term, you are against the word of God. And I'm sorry if that's something that hurts your feelings or that disrupts your thought process, but I really need it to disrupt your thought process, because you need to understand how hypocritical you're being, okay? President Trump was bold and he was unafraid. It made us bold and unafraid. It made us feel like we could go out and speak our truth and be who we were and stand up for the things that we believed in and be proud of our faith. He made us that way. But now that is all getting taken away from us. Yesterday, it wasn't even 4 or 5 hours in, and our new president has swiftly reversed almost everything that President Trump has done. He's almost reversed everything that President Trump has done. If you go to whitehouse.gov at this very moment, you will not see a trace of President Trump. You will not see a trace of the legislation that he signed. It has all been deleted. The day before President Trump left office, he released the full 1776 report. If you go and search that on whitehouse.gov right now, you will get an error page. It is completely gone. If you go to the YouTube page on the White House, you will see that any videos on there prior to the current administration have been wiped out. Now, I made a video about this yesterday. I'll put a link in the description box below, but I found it very, very interesting that there's only 1.8 million subscribers on the White House YouTube page. And if you go to my video, you can see I did a whole screen record showing you guys that there were more dislikes on the video than there were likes. The views on the video weren't even at 100,000. They might be up now, I think, because, you know, people are now starting to point this out. So people are now starting to go to the page. But it got so bad, and I took a screenshot I'm going to put up here. It got so bad that they have now removed the inauguration video from their YouTube page because, as you can see, there were 17,000 dislikes on that video. If you look at the comments, which I also show in the video that I posted yesterday, I could not find one positive comment. So you tell me, for a president who had an overwhelming, record-breaking number of votes for him, how is it possible that you see that type of metric on the videos? If you even go back and search videos of him when he was running, there are more dislikes than likes. Now, I suspect that in the age that we are about to head into, that those videos will soon start to fall off. That data will soon start to go away because they will slowly start to hide the truth from you. So I really, really suggest that you take some time, do the research while you still can, while the information is still available, screen record things, keep them in files, because you will need to revert back to that in a year, if not less, so that you can see for yourself how they are going to slowly start to shape the intel that you are receiving, okay? I'm going to put up here a screenshot of all of the policies that President Biden has reversed. And took care of on day one of his presidency. Now, I don't care what video I posted saying we all need to love each other, we all need to do this, that, and the other. I'm still going to hold our president accountable. I am not going to stop that. I did it with President Trump, and I'm going to do it with President Biden. When you are right, I will praise you. When you are wrong, I will tell you you are wrong. He has reversed policies that made such a huge impact in a positive way that I can't for the life of me understand why somebody would do that. What's so crazy to me is that in one of his speeches when he was running for election, he said,
President Trump has already made it clear this is about power. Pure and simple power.
But yet he went in on day one, not even 24 hours in, and reversed everything that President Trump did. Almost everything that President Trump did. Deleted almost everything that President Trump did. To me, that sounds like somebody who is trying to flex power, but I'll leave that up to you. He has started the ball rolling on letting illegal immigrants into this country, as you've been hearing, I'm sure, I would hope you've been hearing, that there has been a caravan of people at borders just waiting to get in because they knew that Joe Biden was campaigning on reversing Trump's immigration policy. So they've all been lined up at the border for quite some time waiting to get in. So Biden has now started the ball rolling on reversing the immigration policy that Trump has had in place. He has started the ball rolling on raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, I did a whole post on Instagram about this because I could not believe how many people were celebrating the minimum wage being raised to $15 an hour. People, your ignorance is showing. Your uneducation is showing. Uneducation? Did I just sound uneducated saying that? Your lack of education is showing. You guys, there's nothing to be excited about here with this minimum wage thing, okay? And let me tell you why. Have you gone to Target? Have you gone to your local grocery store? Have you gone to Home Depot and seen that there are more self-checkouts than there are people at the registers? Have you seen that? Well, you're going to see a whole lot more of it if you haven't seen it, and you're going to see it everywhere. You're not just going to see it at places like grocery stores and, Home Depots. You're going to see it at retail places. You're going to see it at fast food places. You're going to see it at restaurants. Okay. So those people that are, working those types of jobs, and some of them are young kids, and some of them are people that are just doing it as an extra added income to what they do full time. But those people are going to be affected very negatively by this. And to add insult to injury, you're now going to let a bunch of people into this country, illegal immigrants into this country. You are going to raise the minimum wage, causing business owners to find ways to save money so that they can pay the positions that they have to keep a human person in, going. You're going to let these people in, and they're going to be fighting over the very few jobs that cannot be replaced by automation. This is terrible for us. This is a bad, bad thing. A minimum wage job is not meant for you to be living off of in your 30s and 40s, okay? A minimum wage job is for that kid coming out of high school, entering into the workforce. I think when I started my first job, I was getting paid something like $4 something an hour. And now it's $15 an hour. And then the trickle down effect is those people that were making, $15, $16, $17 an hour are now going to go, well, wait a minute, I have a degree, and you're not going to keep me $1 above somebody who doesn't have a degree. No. You're going to have to raise their wage too. So it is a domino effect of destruction on our economy. Our economy is going to tank in ways that we have never seen before. And then you're going to quickly see what the previous administration did for our economy, the lowest unemployment in general, not just for Blacks, not just for Hispanics, not just for women. You're going to see that. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing all the great things that the previous administration did because they're all getting taken away. They're all getting taken away. So let's talk about some of the stuff that President Biden campaigned on and specifically said that he was going to do on day one. I'm not talking about the first 100 days. He specifically verbatim said day one. And I'll play a little clip here. I'll put a link in the description box so you can go watch the whole thing. But he said on day one.
Command the respect of world leaders from Putin to our allies and know exactly what has to be done to get this country back on track. On day one, when I'm elected president, I'm going to invite all of the members of the Paris Accord to Washington, D.C. First, we're going to get to work delivering results right away on day one. We're going to reverse Trump's rollbacks of 100, public health and environmental rules. If the Senate, Republican Senate, Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump don't take up the bill, newly renamed in honor of my friend John Lewis, to restore the Voting Rights Act to its full power, I will make it a priority on day one that we do that. I'd make the changes on the corporate taxes on day one. And the reason I'd make the change in corporate taxes, it can raise $1.3 trillion if they just start paying at 28% instead of 21%.
So let's talk about the things that he said he was going to do on day one. And then I'm going to show you a little screenshot just to recap what he has already done, not even 24 hours in. Has he released kids from cages? I would have thought, this being such a huge topic during the debates, this being such a huge point that he would go after Trump for, even though Trump had nothing to do with these cages, those cages were bought and paid for by Obama. Okay, I would have thought he would have said, you know what? Hey guys, my team, the first thing we got to do is unlock those cages and let these kids out. He even said, we have to unite these children who are locked in cages with their parents. I have said this in previous videos. These kids' parents, for the most part, have abandoned them. Or they have sold them to coyotes. Okay, I know that that's a really hard thing for people to hear, but that is the truth. But let's get back to what I was talking about. Did he open the cages? No, he didn't open the cages. Those kids are still in the cages. And you know what? Those kids are probably happy to stay in those cages because they are well fed, they are clothed with clean clothes, they are well taken care of, they have medical care, they have schooling or some form of education that's going on there. They're well taken care of there. And anybody who can tell you different, I made a video about this as well. It's my video on the difference between the animal coyote and the coyote in reference to immigration. I'll put a link in here to that as well if you want to check it out. It's quite funny. Anyways, next point. Has he done anything for Black people?
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
To do what used to, Benita, you probably used to get angry with me during the debates when you'd have some of the people you were supporting say, on day one, I'm going to executive order to do this. Not within the constitutional authority. I am not going to violate the Constitution.
Here's where I'm going to insert really quick the list of legislation that he passed yesterday, okay? None of it has to do with Black people. None of it. And are we surprised? I'm not surprised, okay? And Black people, you shouldn't be surprised either, because for years and years and years, especially if you're a Democrat, you should know this, that they love to run on the promises that they give the Black community and they do nothing for you. And guess what? They stayed consistent and they left you out in the cold once again, okay? Has he stopped the riots? Has he stopped the riots? Well, I opened up my news app today and saw that in Portland, there was a huge Antifa riot. That started just hours after the inauguration, and they were yelling and holding signs saying, we don't want Biden, we want revenge. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all that pandering that the left did to these rioters and these looters, where they said, you know what, we're gonna let you protest and use your right to speak your voice and to be heard for the anger and for the anguish and all this other crap. All the bending over they did for these people, and they don't care. They're going to continue to destroy because that's all they want to do is destroy. They're not interested in things getting better. They're interested in keeping things the way they are, which is in shambles. Has he forgiven student loans? We all have been hearing about how on day one he is going to forgive student loans so that people don't have to pay these loans back, because how dare you pay for your education? I myself paid off my student loans, and frankly, if everybody's gonna, get a reprieve and not have to pay their student loans off, I would like a rebate back on the money that I paid. But nevertheless, President Biden has not forgiven any student loans. All he has done is put a 100-day pause on people having to pay back their student loans, and we haven't heard any plans of what he plans to do next. Now, this is something that a lot of people may not know that he did, but he did say this. I'll play a clip really quick here so you can see. But he screamed this at the debates. I will send invitations to the members of the Paris Accord so that they can come to DC. Now, as far as I know, unless anybody can correct me wrong or can correct me, I don't think there were any invitations that went out yesterday from the White House to the members of the Paris Accord inviting them to DC. Okay? Did he make any changes to corporate taxes? Joe Biden said, immediately on day one, I am going to increase corporate taxes in addition to making them pay people more money, because that is instantly going to give our economy the boost it needs. Well, Joe Biden must not have been reading what Trump was doing, because our economy really didn't need a boost. It was doing better than it ever had before. However, he did say he was going to make changes to corporate taxes and raise them so that we could get this boost immediately. Did he do that? No. All right. I'm sensing a trend here. Did he push hate crimes legislation? No, he did not pass any legislation having to do with hate crimes. And last but not least, did he get COVID under control? Because oh my goodness, he said on day one, everything starts with on day one, and he's yelling that he was going to get COVID under control. Well, damn it, he hasn't done that. COVID is still out of control. Vaccines still are, there still are not enough vaccines for people to get them, even though there's more than enough vaccines, okay? But people don't want to go get them because they don't trust them, okay? Or people are realizing that, hey, I have a better chance if I just get COVID and let my body do its thing. I don't need this damn vaccine. But no, he's not done anything special as of yesterday to get COVID, as of day one, to get COVID under control. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we are not even a full 24 hours in, and he has done a whole lot of nothing, but he has done some stuff that is going to prove to be incredibly destructive. The next thing I expect to hear or see is a huge flatbed truck rolling up to the back of the White House so that he can load pallets of cash and ship them off to the Middle East, because, I mean, why not, right? Anyways, I want to know what you guys think in the comments box below. Do you want me to keep doing these types of videos where we hold our president accountable to what they said they were going to do? Or do you want me to move on to other stuff? I mean, I personally am not going to move on to other stuff completely. I will continue to do a mix of things that I have always done. But I felt it extremely appropriate to start today off with making sure that those day one items were met. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments box below. Please do not forget to like this video. Please do not forget to share this video. And most of all, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much and have a good one. Bye-bye.